host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we are bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Thank you for allowing us to come into your household today. And today we are coming to you with Lia White. How are you, Lia?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I just feel uplifted with you being present today. And because I know your mama too, I ain't even gonna even lie to people around here. I know this girl's mama, y'all. And so I'm so excited and honored to have you, Lia, here with us today. And listen, all of you that are tuning in, I see y'all hopping into the studio as well from various places. Let us know where you're visiting in from as well. We'll be honored to put your comments up throughout today's broadcast. And if you have questions, just celebratory comments, anything, please make sure you don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section and we will acknowledge them. Lia White is my special guest today, and she is a proud product of the Queen City. As a graduate of Brisbane Academy, she has always believed in the power of community and the village mindset. She is a principle that drives, that's the principle that drives her passion. I need to put my glasses on here. We're going to get this right here. Okay, Lia White, a proud product of the Queen City. She's a graduate of Brisbane Academy, and she has always believed in the power of the village mindset. We're going to talk a lot about that today. A principle that has really driven her passion for service and leadership. And she's followed in someone special's footsteps. I'm not going to tell you who. I'll let her tell you. And she is also the founder of iVow, which is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to helping character education, financial literacy, and life skill development. Now, I'm not going to read everything because then other than that, I'm telling you her whole story. But she does hold a bachelor's degree in international public relations from UNC Charlotte, right here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I know this show airs in 140 countries, but she is a product right here where I'm located in Charlotte, North Carolina. And her journey and her degree has helped her advance really with extensive study abroad, even in all different areas: Milan, Italy, London, England, you name it. She's been, I'll let her tell you how many countries she's been around to. But I'm so glad to have you here today,
I'm
Lia.
so grateful to be here.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I don't want us to miss a moment because there's so many thoughts that are running through my head. Whenever I thought about the fact that you would be here today, I immediately wanted to just say thank you to this lady, which is Jerry Crooks. You all, if you've never encountered Jerry, no matter what, you could have the worst bad day. And if you are in the presence of this woman, she's going to give you this hug that makes you feel like all walls are torn down, all barriers are gone. And she connects her heart to your heart. And it's something about the way she hugs you, right, Lia?
Yes, definitely. Hug from my mom is definitely top 10. Like, you can't beat it.
Everybody needs to benefit from a hug from Jerry.
I have my friends. They're like, I just need a hug from your mom.
Right. I was wondering if it was just me because I brought some people to an event one time, Lia, and at the event, she just walked up to them and not invaded their space or anything. She asked, can I give you a hug? And they were, oh, okay, fine. Like, that's weird to just think I want a hug, right, per se. But to me, it's not weird. I hug everybody. But when I hug everybody, it does not break the barrier down like when she hugs. So she's like, no, we're not going to hug on that side. We're going to hug heart to heart. So I was like, what is this about? So we hug heart to heart. And all of a sudden, there's this synergy that happens that I feel like we're like soul connected some kind of way. And I'm like, I don't even know this lady like this, but we become best like best of friends type of thing as a
Yeah,
result of the love from my heart to her heart connecting. Anyway, I could
exactly.
do a whole show on just the heart connection.
It's the heart
You come on
connection.
the show, the joy of many people's lives, Jerry Crooks, and share your story too, because we'd love to have you. And yeah,
Yes, she could definitely come on the show. She loves to talk. She's great at that. So, and I love her sharing her word because a lot of people
absolutely.
don't have that joy. And something she really instilled in me was the unconditional love. And I think that's what really drove me to be such a community person is that I realized there's so many people in our community that lack unconditional love.
That's good to know that driving force really helps shape who you are today. So even being born and raised in the Charlotte, North Carolina area and being a proud product of the Queen City, what are some of the things in your upbringing that really help shape your passion that you have for serving other people?
I would have to take it back to my great grandmother. She raised me probably till I was like 5 or 6. And then yeah, she passed away when she was 107, but she was a firecracker up until her last day.
Oh, I don't have a picture of your grandma. I wish I had a picture
I
of her.
know, let me see. But yeah, she was my heart. And then my nana, she took over. They both really took a lot of time instilling wisdom in me. My mother had Brisbane Academy, so that was her first baby. That took a lot of attention. So the village really came in and raised me. So I think seeing my mom have that unconditional love in the community and then having my elders pour into me really made me who I am. And that's why I think, for me, I'm like, I want to engage the youth, but I also want to engage the elders because not to make it a racial thing, but really in the Black community, I've seen that we have lost respect for our elders.
That's so unfortunate. I've witnessed people just rush into a door and then let the door close behind them, and I can see a struggling elderly
Yeah.
person. I'm like, you know what? I'll run and open the door, but I'm thinking, what is our society coming to that would be the case? But let me provide some fair balance because I've seen situations where I literally pulled my phone out and recorded it because I'm seeing a young man that's lifting a lady that can't get out of her chair, and he's lifting with all his body weight to make sure that she has an easier situation. So there are some that are out here that are all about themselves, and then there are some that are like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to stop life and help you, you know?
Well, it's like we have to really highlight those stories. I remember I took a comp theory class at CPCC, and my professor talked about the agenda setting theory and how there's so much promotion on negative things. I just
Right.
had a conversation about police officers. I'm like, there's a lot of good police officers out there,
You
but
better
that's
believe
not what gets highlighted. So we automatically think, oh, we're enraged, but it's like, let's start highlighting the good police officers, and then maybe it will urge more people to be like, wow, there are good police officers, and it'll encourage police officers to know like it's an honor to carry a badge.
that's
So
right.
just really highlighting positive things, I think is something I really want to do. That's why I admire your show so much because you're always speaking about positive things. I'm like, yes, we need more of this.
Thank you for that. But you know what? It's funny because now if I was talking about some raunchy stuff and who did what to whom and all of that, the ratings would be whoop right out
Yeah,
the sky,
girl, you be on Hulu, Netflix, and just
everywhere. But you talk about this Betty Crocker stuff, it's like, what?
it's like no,
Just
yeah.
what
So
we're doing to make a difference in the world? What is that about?
well, even like nationally, people talk about Charlotte because of the crime. I'm like, there's a lot of good things happening in Charlotte, guys.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm glad you said that because there are so many good things happening, but figuring out a way to be able to highlight those, like you're a good thing, in my opinion. So that's why I'm bringing Lia White on because this whole thing about putting community first
Yeah.
and not worrying about any particular political stance is really a big to do in what you're doing. I wanted to find out from you that with your mom being with Brisbane Academy for over a decade, what lessons have her leadership played in really having sticking power in your life?
I think so. My mother always said, like, when people would come to school, they would say, "We want to speak to the owner. We want to speak to the founder," and she
Mhm.
would point to a staff member. She'd be like, "Okay, talk to him." She never took credit for anything that she did, and I think that really showed me because humility is a big thing, especially in
Mhm.
politics. We have a lot of accolades, and I'm a chair member of this, and I'm a board member of this, and I'm a this of this. I'm like, okay, but did you go to the community event last night? Did you talk to these group of young kids who need encouragement? Like, I think we have to really start thinking like that village. Like she used a quote by Nelson Mandela: "You lead from behind."
That's
So
good.
you never know who the real leader is.
Wait, somebody type that, because I mean, we're gonna be dropping some nuggets. This
My
woman,
mom,
Lia,
listen, I just every time I'm around her, I'm like, okay, what do you want to say?
you lead from behind.
Yes.
And what did that mean to you when she said that?
So what that meant is you are supposed to encourage other people so that way you don't always have to lead.
Right. Okay. So rubbing off on other
Yes.
people and letting other people have the heart that you project and that you intend to have towards people, but it shouldn't have to always come from you, even
Yeah.
behind your back. I actually had a conversation with one of our church administrators just yesterday, and I was saying, I really want to make sure that the heart that I have towards people, that it happens regardless of whether I'm present or not. I want it to be something that shows up behind my back, in front of me, beside me, or whatever. And I really do feel like I have people that surrounding me that are doing that. So shout out to you, Kim Maddox, because she is doing some great things from our church with Promise Fellowship and leading in that capacity as an administrator. So yeah.
Well, that's what it's about. Like we have to encourage each other. We have to one of my favorite artists, Nipsey Hussle, he always said inspiring is the greatest act that you can do. You think about, like, everyone's like money, 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 but it's like I would rather inspire somebody than give them $10, because the wisdom that I can give them is going to take them way farther. I mean, they say give a man a fish, give a man a fishing rod. So which one's going to be more valuable?
That's right. I'm glad that you're saying that. And so your mom inspired you by leading by example. So
Yeah.
she's building her own legacy right while she's alive. A lot of times people, when they talk about legacy, is after the person is gone.
Right.
In this case, your mom is a person, in my opinion, that is leading and rising up and building legacy right now while she's on this earth, passing the baton to you.
Yes. So she can still instill that wisdom in me while she's here. So I think that's a big thing. And I always try to encourage the kids I'm with. I'm like, I want to tell you these things now. Like, you need to know this now, because I didn't know this when I was your age. And so yeah.
That's so good, Leah. I think that every young person needs to know you. I think every older person needs to know you, because we can learn a lot from people that are younger than us as well. And I've learned quite a bit just being in your presence already today.
Thank you. Well, that's like a big thing I really wanted to do. And I know, like, for me, being in the community means we have our elders, we have our youth. Like, there's things that I can learn from a 5-year-old.
Right.
There are things that a 50-year-old can learn from a 10-year-old. There's things that a 90-year-old can learn from a 17-year-old. And when we stop thinking like that is when it's detrimental to the human race.
I'm glad. See, that's why God is all. I believe that God gives all of us gifts and talents. And I talked about that. If you all didn't watch the program the last 2 days, where I talked about how to start your own show from scratch and really broadcasting your own business. And in that conversation, I was telling people how important it is to use all of our gifts and our talents, because all of us have a different gift than our next person that's near us. But the whole world is missing out if we don't use the gifts and the talents that we are gifted to salt the earth with.
Exactly. Well, we're all put here with a purpose. So, and I think part of my purpose is helping people identify their purpose.
Good. I can tell that's part of your purpose. Sometimes it's funny. You don't even have to say what your purpose is. You can let other people know how to fill in the blanks of your purpose, because it just pours and seeps from your pores. Like, we know your mom is love and the heart connection, and everything she does, it supports that. So everything you're doing is supporting. I believe in the village concept. I believe in people globally. Speaking of which, you've traveled to 36 countries, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if it had increased since then. It's been 36.
Has it? Oh, I'm trying to think. No, I think I've only done repeats since then. Yeah.
Repeats. Okay, but hello, 36. I don't think that's for the faint of
I want
heart.
to go back and visit some. So.
Well, okay. Tell us, what's your favorite country that you've been to?
So it's hard to say, but I think Slovenia was a really nice place for me, just because they don't get a lot of African Americans or Black Americans come there, and even having like people of color travel there is very scarce. So when they saw me, it was like, ooh, ah, I was like, hi.
I'm trying to type how to spell
So,
Slovenia. Okay, let me just see.
And the city I went to was Ljubljana. So my first name, and they pronounced it, and I was like, oh my goodness. But it was just such a feeling of love. I really felt like everyone there was it felt so authentic. And I was coming from there.
At pictures of it. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I was coming from Bulgaria, which is where I had, I won't say a bad experience, but because it is so close to Russia. And once they saw that American passport, they were like, ooh, girl.
You might want to go.
I was like, okay, I'm leaving. Take me to the closest country I can go to.
You're like,
I'll have to tell me twice.
You're like, I'm out of here. I don't mind.
Okay, yeah. As soon as they were like, you can't be here, I was like, okay, sorry. I'm just traveling along.
Right.
But yeah, I think just traveling in general, I just loved. It was like an addiction. I got to Milan, and I was so scared. I was so scared because I had been in Charlotte my whole life. I had gone to Virginia Academy, graduated with 7 other students. So I'm used to these small class sizes. And I got there 2 weeks earlier than school had started. So I was in a hostel. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a hotel for people of all ages, but mostly young kids. Okay. And it's probably like you're in a room and there's like 6, 7 other people in there with you. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. And I called my mom and I was like, I want to come home.
I need to get out of here. What did your mom say?
She was like, are you sure? Pray about it. And I was like, okay. And so I called my dad and he was like, we sent you all the way out there. You staying?
Oh, so dad was not as
he was like, no, you're going to be there.
So when you had these experiences, and so you clearly ended up staying in that particular instance.
So I think, like I said, I called my dad and I was like, okay, well, I called with my parents. Let me pray about it. And when I prayed about it, I took a nap and I had woke up, and this guy, I thought he was speaking Russian. I was so disoriented because I was just still so scared. He was actually speaking Spanish. And so I'm like, oh my God, this angry Russian, it must be time for me to go. And then he said, hi, my name is Martine. And I was like, you speak English? He was like, yeah, from Argentina. And then we started talking and we become best friends, like just like that. And I just have to shout him out because if it wasn't for him, I would not have made it. Mm-hmm. And so he took me on my first train ride. We went to, oh my goodness. It was, I can't remember the name. It'll come back to me. But it was like maybe 45 minutes away. It wasn't far at all. But I had never been on a train. Charlotte doesn't have Charlotte didn't have trains at the time. So that was just such an interesting experience. I was just so scared. I was like, oh my gosh. And then once I got into college, I met the other foreign students. I met some other American students, Australian students. It was a lot of Germans. Oh. And I started connecting and I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. But then I realized
you're over there by yourself. You're over there by yourself.
By myself. My mom had a friend and his friends' nephews were in Milan. So they kind of helped me a little bit, but they have their own lives. Like we're 18, 19 years old. They don't want to babysit an American girl. Like,
okay. So wait, what advice would you give people because I'm even talking about advice for me that want to travel to other countries, but really are leery out of all of the horror stories that you hear? What advice could you give us, tips that you can give people?
I would say that wherever you go, you're going to have to be conscious. Like you can go out in Charlotte, like there's places in Charlotte. I'm like, looking over, so it's, I always tried to stay away. Cause even I think, when I was over there, people would try to send me stuff. I'm like, oh, because you can't be fearful when you travel. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, like being a young girl, looking back. Okay. There were some things I wish I would have done some more research or kind of took in consideration because I do have some stories, but I'm not going to share them.
Okay. But, I wasn't sure. I was like, are you going to want to tell us about these things?
No. I don't want to scare anybody, but just being conscious of your surroundings. I think that's anywhere you go. You can be in Target or Food Lion and still be worried about someone mugging you or you just have to be cautious of your surroundings. Like, never be airheaded is what I would tell people. And learn how to read a map. Europe, if you travel to Europe, it is a very walkable city. They have their transportation is 10 out of 10. The
Okay.
United, I mean, I haven't been spending a lot of time in the major cities here, but Europe, wherever I went, I never felt like I had to call an Uber, get a taxi. Like, it was either walkable or their transportation was there. So
Well, that's good to know. That's inspiring. And so the information and experiences that you had around all of the countries that you've experienced to date, what have you been able to do to make that bring it back home to show the potential of what
I think
Charlotte
talking
has to
to
offer?
kids like about traveling, like 2 years ago, I took 3 of my students to South Africa and Cape Town, and yes, it was such a great experience. The youngest one was 6, so it was just such a great experience because I wanted them to know like you can travel, like
Okay.
it's something we can do and it's doable. Especially with kids, people my age, like it costs $1,000 to rent a section. That's a plane ticket. Like
Mhm.
we really take this traveling to a different country like it's unaccessible to us, and I think that is one of my biggest passions. I really want to take young people and children to other countries so they can be exposed to different lifestyles,
Mhm.
because how we live in the United States is very different from how you live in Johannesburg, South Africa, or how you live in
Right.
Berlin, Germany, or how you live in Milan, Italy. Like there's just so many factors, and I think it's good to be exposed to those because they're
Yes.
exposed to American TV. So all they see is that rah, 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 rah on TV.
Mhm.
So having, especially Black people, go to these countries and show them, like, because I'll never forget when this Italian guy, he was talking to me at a discoteca, and he was like, oh, we got into an argument. He's like, are you going to throw a drink in my face? And I was like, why would you think I was going to throw a drink in your face? But it's a perception.
Wow.
And my mom always says, change the way you look at things. Things you look at will change. And so
Wait,
that,
wait, somebody type that. Wait, somebody, y'all, I'm telling you, type,
yes, my mom always. I have a whole book I'm trying to write of just the things that she
change the
said
way
with me.
what?
Change the way you look at things, and things you look at will change. She didn't come up with that. Somebody else said it, but she always would say that to me as a child. And the older I got, I'm like, wow, this makes sense. So when I was in Morocco and people were like, oh, you got to do this, you got to be safe, I'm like, well, if I look at this as an experience and exposure while I'm still being conscious, I'm not fearful. And
That's
I
right.
think that's what drives a lot of people not to travel or go think outside the box or do things differently, is because they have this perception of it's too hard or it's not safe or
Right.
things. You're like, okay, yes, you talked it.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss
Deborah, thank you for being my administrative assistant over here on the Kim Jacobs show
Johnson.
today. I was trying to type. I'm like, I need somebody to be typing this stuff. So let's see. Change the way you look
Look
at
at
things,
things.
and
Things you look
things
at will
you look
change.
at will change.
Yes.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, all right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This is some good stuff. So what inspired you to start iVow? And what gap do you see that's in the community that you are helping to fill as a result of being with iVow?
Well, I think traveling, like that is my biggest passion. And I really want kids to travel. Like,
Mhm.
I think it is so important. The first time I went out of the country, I was 9 years old. Yes, Brisbane Village. And I went to South Africa, and it completely changed my outlook on life.
Mhm.
There's so many things that American children, whether you're poor, rich, middle class, whatever, that we have access to, that a lot of children in South Africa do not have access to.
Right.
And it really made me grateful for
Mhm.
everything that I have. And so coming back here, it was like, wow, like, and these kids have no idea.
Right. But by you exposing them, first of all, when you say taking 3 kids or however many children out of the country, how are their parents with?
So the parents came too.
Okay, 'cause I'm gonna say,
Yes,
well, I'm
yes,
trying
the
to figure
parents
this
came
out.
too.
I'm like,
It
I
was
don't
a
care.
group effort. It was a group effort. Yes,
Okay, okay.
the parents
That,
came
you know
too.
what, I
So
was like, I can't get off this show without hearing
yes, yes, the
that
parents
parents are
came too.
sending their 6-year-old children.
No, 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 no. The parents came too. So it was like an experience for everybody, and I think that was so big because the parents too got to see their children up close and personal. Like, wow, they're really considerate. They're saying please and thank you. They're asking
Mhm.
questions. We went to Robben Island, and my 15-year-old nephew went. I think he was 14 at the time, and he was really engaged with these prisoners. Like he was talking to them because right in Robben Island, that's where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned, and the prisoners, the last prisoners, they stayed there, and so they do tours. So it's really heavy. The fact that they stayed, but because they know their purpose was to educate people on this place. And they do such a great job storytelling about I mean, it's so many people that we don't even know that happen at Robben Island. I mean, it's mind blowing. It really is. And to see these kids really indulge and want to know more about history, I was like, oh, my heart. Because really, when I was in Milan, Italy, my first semester, I was having a really hard time. I was the only Black American, and it was hard. And my I think he was my literacy teacher. I can't remember. This is a long time ago. But one of my professors, he gave me Soul on Ice. He said, read this book. And Soul on Ice is by
what is it called? Soul on Ice?
Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver. And he was part of the Black Panther Party. And I knew about the Black Panthers, but I wasn't, I knew Bobby Seale, I knew who we knew, and that was it. Like I didn't know the start time, how it was dismantled, any of that. And I read this book, and it just put me in a hole of like, it changed my whole perspective of what being Black meant to me. And it made me want to advocate to more people about how important it is to know your history. Because no one talks about the Black history. No one talks about, we talk about Martin Luther King, which is great. I applaud him. I'm grateful for him. Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, we close the book. That's it. See you next February. iVow, to me, I really wanted children to know how important it is to understand Black history, to know where we came from. It's not just in 1619, we came over here from slaves, but from that, so much has happened, and so many people, because even Frederick Douglass, people know what he looks like, but do you really know what he did?
What he did,
W. Du Bois, you know what he looks like. Do you know what he did?
Right, because we hear the names, but
like we know these names, but we don't know what they did, their impact, and how they really shaped Black culture. And how now I'm looking at these young kids, I'm like, so they did all of this, but you want to do this? Nah.
It's like, no, we're going to change this narrative.
You're
not about to misrepresent our ancestors under any circumstance.
Under any circumstances.
Too hard. Like Harriet Tubman said, you's going to be free or you going to die. You going to be free.
But then Harriet also said everybody can't go. And I'm realizing that.
Unfortunately. So it's right. It's like a not contraindication. That's medical, but a contradiction, because it's like, doggone it. As much as I want everybody to be free, and I'm demanding you better listen, because we only got a limited amount of time for you to get across to safety, using all of our codes and singing, wade in water, all of the things that we have to do to be able to be on one accord and know
braid our hair so we can know which way to go.
Right. But then there are some, no matter what you do, Leah, it doesn't matter.
They're content.
Yeah, they're okay. They're like how Moses was like, Lord have mercy. The people, when he's trying to get them across the sea, and they like, look here, you could have just left us in Egypt to die. At least we had some food and water. Really? You'd rather die
in complacency. Like people are okay with complacency. And we look at it now, I'm like, think about, like I said, the agenda setting theory. They're saying these things, you're believing these things, and now you're just sitting at home watching the news, scared to leave your house. So iVow really stemmed for me seeing how much change there is to be in the world. I really feel like I said iVow, I named it because it's the 5 vows. Oh yes, Robben Island.
I just wanted to put that up because for those people to stay back knowing that they were able to be free to go, and to stay and make that their life's mission to educate people, I just find that to be just most mesmerizing. And
it's really interesting. Like I said, I think it just makes the visit so much, because I've been to South Africa a few times now, and every time I'm like, I got to go back to Robben Island.
Well, your mom always invites me, so I guess one time I have to go.
Yeah,
I have to go, right?
It just uplifts you. Like it really makes you feel like, wow, like this is just such an amazing part of life. And the fact that these people are staying on this island after being beaten, tortured. I mean, horrible things just to say, this was my story. I don't want it to happen again. And just educating, like it's phenomenal. Like, I can't talk enough about these men. They really, like, every time I go there, I have a notebook. I'm like, okay. And then after that, how did this make you feel? Like, it inspires me so much to see people go through all that trauma and heartbreak and just to say, well, now this is my story and I want to tell it because I want to educate the world. Because you think about it, there are not a lot of books about Robben Island, or I haven't.
No.
Yeah. So it's just part of that history that we don't know about.
And what impact did it have on your students that did participate, as far as especially comparing it to the community that we live in, and then being there in South Africa and having a visual hands-on experience that's got to be life altering?
Yes, for sure. Like I said, the oldest, he was 14. I don't think he turned 15 yet. And he just, like I said, he really took an interest. Like, he was so engaged. Like, he was asking the prisoners questions. I was like, dang, I ain't never thought about that question. But because he could not understand why they would not leave this island, and it just intrigued him so much. But then the more questions he asked, the more engaged he was like, wow, like, I understand they have to be here to tell this story. No one else can tell this story, or it's not going to resonate. And I was like, you really getting it? Like,
he understood.
Now, the 6-year-old, I think it might have went above her head a little bit, but because we did go around the whole island, so it's a little bit of, she fell asleep a little bit, but I think it still showed her how important it is just to know history, because she was still fascinated. But oh yeah, you gotta go.
You gotta go, Kim. You gotta go. Okay. I gotta
She's going.
Oh, definitely.
We have the 10-year-old. We actually have 4 students. I apologize. The 10-year-old and the 8-year-old. They really, I think it impacted them a lot, because they were able to, they were looking at Nelson Mandela's cell. They were like, can we go in here? I'm like, no, we can't. But just them seeing that, like seeing it in their face and knowing this is where people were sent for doing the right thing. I think really kind of shifted their mindset to know, well, wow, now I have the opportunity to do the right thing and I'm not going to get put away. Like, freedom of speech. They, understanding, like, words are powerful. You can say a lot. You have a purpose. You're meant to do something. Right. So I think it kind of gave them that, like I said, a little bit like of excitement, like, wow, like, well, if they went to prison for speaking their mind and trying to get people free and ended apartheid, what can I do? Like, it kind of made, so it's like, like, what can you do? Because now you're free. You have the right to do all, you have the resources.
That's right.
It made them, like, empowered. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I love empowering the youth. I think is one of my biggest callings. I always want them to feel like you can do whatever you put your mind to. I have an 8-year-old. She tells me all the time, I'm going to be president of the United States. I'm like, yes, girl, you are. Like, we have to start really, like, telling our children what they can do, because on another side of the world, they're telling them, yeah, you can do that. Yes, you can do this.
All things through Christ. I believe wholeheartedly that we can do anything that we believe. We can think it up. We can dream it up. We can believe it. We can achieve it. It is possible. The only roadblock, in my opinion, many times is ourselves.
Yeah. So whole heart. It's us. And sometimes it is the people around you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the people around you that's not willing to encourage you and to say, you know what, I believe in this piece of a gift that I see in you, because we can see gifts and talents in children, but and even in young adults like yourself. When I talked with your mom about it, I was like, Leah, I don't even do stuff pertaining to political related topics, period. I pretty much stay away from it. Right. Well, I was like, well, Lia White is different, baby. She is for the people.
Yes. That was campaign. Like, we have to stop thinking, like, I'm seeing Paul. I grew up in a very political household on my father's side. And I always wanted to be like, why is it like this? Like, why is it always people arguing? Why is it like, what? The government's supposed to be for the people, by the people. Like, it's not making sense to me. Like, we spending tax dollars to let people argue?
Right. I mean, lose friendships, you name it, it goes down. People will stop speaking to each other over some political issues.
And like you even said, you don't get into politics. And that's why I was like, I want to be non-affiliated. If I have to get 1,500 signatures, knocking on doors and only getting 4 hours of sleep a day, whatever.
Right.
Because it's important. I want people to know that we have to put people before politics, before a party, before whatever. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to go home and feel safe. We want
Yes.
to be able to retire and have some type of financial freedom. And we want to be able to send our kids to school and them come back and feel safe. But if we all want the same thing, how is it all these little, all these little calculations like, oh, well, I want this too, and I want this too, and I want, like, if we just look at the big picture, we all want the same thing, and we
We
can get
all
that.
want the same thing, no matter what our race, religion,
Whatever,
political
humans.
stance. We all just want love, peace, and
Right.
happiness, in my opinion.
Listen,
And
all green,
safety.
love and happiness. That's all. That's all we need.
I
But
often tell
they
people
do all
there's a
these
God,
things.
and I'm not God's junior, so I don't know. Whatever God decides to allow to happen, that's between him and people.
Exactly.
But anyway, okay, let's see here. I see somebody saying, Adolphus says, hey, you are truly amazing, Lia White. Y'all keep your comments coming. Y'all are very inspiring out here today. Deborah says, I'm so proud of you, Lia, for being a great representative for our culture and our youth.
Thank you.
I see somebody saying, oh, we love Jerry. Adi says, we
Oh,
love
yes.
Jerry. We love Jerry. Let's see, lots of comments. If I don't get to your comment, please know that we definitely will get to it on social media some kind of way. But I just want to acknowledge South Africa is a life-changing experience for so many.
Yes, for sure.
Kim, you have to go. Okay, I saw that. Okay. And their experiences significantly changed their mentality. The changes they're talking about regarding the youth that attended. Changes you physically witness. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Even like watching them like now, I'm like, wow, like that one trip, that 10 days really shifted how you think. It sets you apart from your peers. And that was part of the mission with iVow. Like, how can we raise money? How can we make sure these kids get their passports and are able to travel?
Yes.
When I came back, and at the time, I think I had maybe like 32 countries, and it was so many adults saying, I ain't never been out this country. I ain't never been out. And I'm just like, why?
There's no reason you can.
You have a car. Right. At some point you had enough money to say, I can spend, because it's always a financial thing. That's always, I'm just like, and that's also why I try to teach financial literacy to the kids, because that is so important, especially in these urban communities. We do not prioritize where our money goes. My mom never bought us name brand ever. And if you, it's funny now, people are like, oh, you're in politics, you got to put some tough skin. I'm like, man, listen, growing up and not ever wearing name brand, and my brother, we're 18 months apart, so I always got his hand-me-down. So I'm wearing like hand-me-down Shacks and Dickies, and that was pretty much the only name brand because they sold at City Trends. I was like, please let City Trends have something that you want. And Lord, please come through City Trends. Please, I want a clearance rack, the Rockaware, please. I want some baby fat. But it really shifted, because my mom would always say, what is that person, what have they done for you? And I'm like, well, they sell a lot of, it's always they do this and they do that, but they are not doing anything for the community. And that's what really made me start really advocating, because I'm like, that's good. Well, now athletes are starting to do more, which I really appreciate. It was a Carolina Panthers. I think he just donated like almost $13 million to the homeless fund. Okay. So that's really great. But we as a community have to do better pouring back into ourselves. We look at a lot of other communities that have no problem. I mean, if you go to a hair store, it's not owned by a Black woman or a Black man. So it's like certain things we have to be like, well, how can we pour back into us? Because the people that we pour into, they don't support us. Fenty, or not Fenty, I love Rihanna. But a lot of these other name brands, they don't pour into the community. But we're spending thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Louis Vuitton, I think, just got their first Black model, first Black designer in the early 2010s, I believe. I might be misspeaking, but I don't think we prioritize where our money goes. And that's why with iVow, I really want to concentrate on financial literacy, like what's really important to us. And for me, traveling, like I will take a plane ticket to Bora Bora over a bag any day. Like that's good. Wow, you saying so much. I'm like over here taking notes myself. I'm like, I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm over here taking some notes, because this young lady, Lia White, is really dropping some significant knowledge, the importance of having our young people have
international travel experiences, not being limited just to a city. And she is willing, obviously, to travel abroad with these children and their parents and to give them exposure. And it's life-altering change, life-altering experiences, especially like the Robben Island experience in South Africa. So listen, what we're going to do is we're going to just take a quick commercial break. Well, before I go to the break, I needed to also just acknowledge, because we're going to transition to but talk to us about this picture here. This beautiful
This is my family, or part of my family. All of them are not pictured, but it's my dad, and then me, my brother, and then my nephew, and then my sister-in-law, and then my mom, and my bonus dad, and my grandmother. So that was us. We had a Father's Day gathering. So it was my brother's first Father's Day. So we got to celebrate. Yeah, Easton was tired out. He sleep.
Oh, that's awesome. This is awesome. And you can see the closeness. And I really would even like for you to speak for a brief moment about this picture, because you see there, you're with your dad, and then you see your mom and your stepdad as well, but they're all in the same picture. Talk to us about that for a minute, because that's important. A lot of times when people are divorced, then they've gone their separate ways, you will never see this picture again. Never.
Yeah. And everyone, like in my family, well, in my friend family, because I have a friend family, they always say, they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky," or I'm just like, I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. My parents, when they decided to part ways, it wasn't like they always made sure, like, I'm not going to speak negative about you. You don't speak negative about me. That was the biggest thing. And being a teacher, I really try to put an emphasis on kids whose parents are not together. I'm like, please don't speak negative in front, because it affects them. And when it affects the kids, and it's almost like you got to pick a side.
Right. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole point of like how we live in human nature. They want to divide you. So you think you this or you're this. And it's like, no, why can't we all just be together? Like, that's that aspect of unconditional love. My mother has always loved my father unconditionally.
Right.
So I think that brought us to be a nice blended family. So we don't have to be like, okay, well, this Christmas from 1 to 4, we're going to be here. This Christmas from 5, we don't have to do that, because we can all, like I said, my mom really stressed unconditional love. So we always had that in our family. And we just really want to emphasize that. And so once we feel like, oh, this love's a little conditional, we'll put you over here for a second. But I think in our family, we really try to stress like just loving unconditionally. So
I love your family and the dynamics of your family. And then I also put this picture up, and people may not have known, but talk to everyone about this image as well.
So this has been my life for the last 30 years. This is Brisbane Academy. So my mother is the founding director. She bought this property from an elderly white couple who would not sell to her. And hearing the story of how she bought the property, I found out, I think I was in my early teens, and she talked about how she had to get one of her friends to buy the property, and he sold it to her for a penny. So just even getting the property was a obstacle, but she turned it into just something so beautiful. Shout out to the city of Charlotte. They have a landscaping program. So they donated the gardening beds. And then we have a wonderful master gardener. She's awesome. She's from New York, and you hear her accent is so thick, you would never think she was a master gardener. But this lady can literally turn dirt into a tree. Like she's amazing. Like she has the biggest green thumb in the world. She's so great. But she's really been so helpful with the garden and the cucumbers, and my stepdad as well. They work really hard in that garden to make sure we have our harvest and giving it to the community. It's so cool because the kids, they love to garden now. So we have like the prissest little girly girls like, oh, I don't want to get my nails dirty. But then they're like, well, I want to get a cucumber. So you'll see them shoveling in the dirt and putting the plants in. It was so cool. We actually had a gardening day in April, and my 18-month-old little cousin was out there, and it was so cute. I was like, yes.
My daughter loves gardening. She grew some of the best zucchini and the sweetest tasting watermelon. I was like, oh, I love it. So she has this great gardening thumb, I guess.
I need help. I need help.
So whatever she grows, whatever she plants, except for broccoli, because the rabbits eat the broccoli.
You see, we had blueberry trees, and those rabbits just had a field. They were like, ooh, blueberries.
Okay, so listen, y'all, make sure you're staying connected. We're getting ready to transition and talk about something that's very near and dear to this woman's heart, Lia White, and making sure that we all participate. If you're especially in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, how we can get involved in making a situation pop off, as people say, a situation pop off for her. But make sure you stay connected with her right on at the Brisbane Legacy.
Oh, in the X, it's Lia White, the number 4 piece.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, go ahead and say something while I correct that.
Right. I was like, wait, let me see.
See, you see us older people, we go, you talking about all of that fancy
But
stuff.
Twitter, they don't let, it's like so many letters you can have in the thing. So yes, Lia White.
Lia White 4, the number 4 piece. 4 piece. All right. So make sure y'all stay connected with her on the X. Twitter is Lia White 4 piece, and on Instagram at the Brisbane Legacy. And so I do want to make sure, while I have you all here today, that you know that our 10-year 5K walk for Gabe's Heart Foundation is coming up on October 18th at 8:00 a.m. Make sure you bring students, Leah.
Yes, I'm gonna say, yeah, it may be hard at 8 a.m., but they may be dragging the first hour, but they'll be okay.
But we're going to be doing our 5K walk, and we raise funds every year for defibrillators to be put in public spaces. And it's in honor of my 12-year-old son, Gabriel Michael Jacobs, that transitioned from this earth with sudden cardiac arrest. And so we really always go to great measures to get these defibrillators put in public spaces where youth congregate. If you have not already registered for the 5K walk, or you'd like to donate, just let us know. Go and donate. You'll be able to get a t-shirt if you do it for, I think it's $20 or whatever. But if you donate $20, your information will come up, and we'll make sure you get a t-shirt for the 5K walk. Gabe's Heart Foundation.org. And every heartbeat does count. So please make sure that you allow Gabe's heart to just keep beating by being a part of the Gabe's Heart Foundation 5K walk. All right. And if you want to serve as a sponsor as well, let us know that. We are going to transition right now to something that I think is important that we talk about: getting these petitions signed. Lia White is doing something in District 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, again, this show is in 140 countries. It's on Roku. You may be like, we don't even know where Charlotte is.
Like, what's District 2 mean?
But we're going to represent today. And where am I? I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're representing today Lia White here with City Council District 2. Talk to us about people over politics and what that means.
Yes. So I think the biggest thing for me, especially in politics, is being transparent. I think if we look at national, local news, when it comes to politics, there's no transparency. There's always some type of doing some deal behind the back or doing some this. And now we have new roads, new construction, new budgets, all this stuff. When I say putting people over politics, I think we need to have more community involvement in politics. The government was supposed to be for the people, by the people. And right now, especially in Charlotte, North Carolina, if you guys keep up with local politics, there's just a lot of, I don't want to say scandal, but there's a lot of things happening in the local politician world that it makes me feel like we need more community advocates. Mm-hmm. We need more people to say, okay, this money needs to be allocated towards having defibrillators in public school systems. This budget needs to be allocated toward more youth programs. And the youth programs that we are having, they're not working. Our crime rate is up. So what can we do to make sure that we are giving the money to the right program so we know that it's working? Like I said, for me, I want the youth to flourish, and we are not doing that right now. I had my friend, her 4-year-old son, he's going to kindergarten. And she was like, are you excited about kindergarten? He was like, kind of, but I don't want to get bullied. Aww. Why does a 4-year-old even know what that word means?
Right. He's already thinking that even before he enters school.
Exactly. Before he even goes to school, in his mind, he's like, I don't want to get bullied. Why is he thinking like that? What are we teaching? What is going on, in our characters that we're not educating ourselves, where this little boy feels like he doesn't want to get bullied going to kindergarten?
Right. That's very concerning.
And it's things. And then the elders, like I said, I was raised by my great grandmother, and now I watch people, especially kids, they have no respect for the elders. I think we really have to figure out a way to connect everybody again. Politics is very, I don't want to say scary, but it can be very intimidating to the youth. Like they don't want to get involved and people don't want to talk about it. But I'm like, these are our tax dollars. This is, we're paying these people to do these things.
Yes.
We need to advocate for these certain things. So I think the biggest thing, that's why I'm doing non-affiliated. I don't want to be tied to a party. I want to be tied to the people. I want to know how can we, because I just got on Twitter and I see people go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I'm like, so what are the solutions? Because all y'all are doing is this problem caused this and this problem caused this. But it's like, okay, so what's the solution? Because when I growing up, my Nana always said, I'll give you 2 times to complain about it. After that, how we
right.
So, and I feel like that's what we need. Like, okay, I'll give y'all two comments to be like, okay, this sucks. After that, how can we fix it?
So you're going to be like a solutions provider.
That is the goal. I think, because everyone right now is all talk. And I'm like, so let's have action. Let's talk about what we can do to solve gun violence. What can we do to help these elders get their groceries? What can we do to educate people on eating healthy? We have to come together and figure out these solutions, because us going back and forth on Twitter and social media and bashing people on internet, that does nothing for anybody.
It doesn't. And you're so well spoken. And I'm so, you know what? I went through a whole training with Les Brown, and it's a huge thing with him when he talks about he's one of the top international motivational speakers. And he often says, Kim, make sure you do not say and and so you didn't even go through that training. And here you are, you went, whose training you went through?
Jerry. My mama.
You went through the Jerry Crooks training to teach you how to speak eloquently. She did a great job. Great job.
You.
Y'all, please keep your comments coming. When we're talking about community first, because people say that, but what does that really mean to you in your own words?
So to me, that means connecting generations. I think we have to put a huge emphasis on working with these children and working with these elders. And so that, because my dad always said, you have to respect your elders. And my brother, I remember one time, he said, well, what if they don't respect me? And I was like, wow. And then he got popped in the mouth. But but he spoke some truth to that, because it was like, well, you know what if they kind of gave us some grace? Because they do a lot of complaining, the elders in the community. But it's like, what if we were like, hey, what do you think if we did this? Or what do you like? It brings me back to finding solutions. I think putting the community first means being a solution-based person. We have to get more into how can we solve a problem instead of adding to it.
Right. That's good. That's good. So if you had to, because I put this people over politics, Lia White, District 2, City Council in Charlotte, North Carolina. But there are some things that have to happen in order for this to become a reality for you, right?
Yeah. So my journey to the ballot, I'll be posting about that very soon. I have to have 1,437 signatures to be on the ballot from residents of District 2. So
wait, say that again, because I want to add that to this thing that I'm putting. So you need how many?
1,437 signatures to be on the ballot.
Signatures needed. And where can they go to sign?
So you can go to right now, Brisbane Academy, from, if you call, because we may not always be there. But Original Chicken and Ribs, they have their business hours Tuesday through Sunday. And then the residents of Brookline Apartment Complex, they have regular business hours Monday through Sunday. Brisbane Academy, I want to say 10 to 2 right now, Monday through Friday.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure, because I want to make sure that people, exactly with a call to action, what needs to happen. This young lady is putting community first. Her agenda is making sure that it's people over politics. Her district is District 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's running for city council. But the thing is, she needs 1,437 signatures in order to even be listed on the ballot. Why is that the case? Somebody tell us about that.
Because I'm running as a non-affiliated candidate. So as we know, in American politics, you are either a Republican or you are a Democrat. You can be an independent party, a Green Party, but you're a Republican or a Democrat. So when you go against the status quo, you are punished. I don't want to say punished. You you are put to a task. So I have to get 1.5% of the district. So the district's about 89,000 people. So 1.5% of that is 1,437. That's how they came up with that number. But yeah, this is national. Anywhere, any state you go to, I know they just lowered it in Washington State. It was they needed 10%. Now I think they need 4%, I believe. But yeah, every state's a little different with how they treat non-affiliated candidates. But the moral of the story is they want you to be one or the other, and I'm choosing to be neither. So.
And so what is because a lot of times people want to have an understanding of why is it important as far as regarding democracy anyway. And I already know the answer, but I want to hear you say it as to why you think this unaffiliated candidacy is important and fair from your perspective.
So I think it's important because I think that titles divide us. Like we always said, well, we talked about this whole show, one or this or that, but it's like saying I'm not affiliated. I am standing with the people. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm someone who I want to have the people's voice. I don't want to say, well, because this is what my party thinks, this is what I have to say. I want to say, well, in my community, in District 2, this is what we think. So this is what I want to say. And this is a whole dramatic, I can't speak. But it's a whole democratic process, having to get these signatures, knocking on doors, talking to people. That's true democracy. So having to go through this is really, it's so educational and it's so rewarding because I'm getting in the community and I'm talking to these people and really finding out what they need and what's working and what's not working. So.
That's good. This is good. So the message that you have for people that are going to be signing the petition and hopefully voting for you, what is the message that you want them to have from you?
To be a community advocate. I'm not a politician. I'm the community advocate, and I want to work with other community advocates to have a better, safer, healthier Charlotte.
I'm gonna put you over here and I want you to say it one more time because I just love that. So I'm gonna remove me and put you over here. Say it one more again, as my grandma would say it one more time.
So to the District 2 residents, I am running as a non-affiliated candidate because I feel that we have to put the community first. I think that if we are all community advocates, we can work together to make Charlotte a healthier, safer, and better place for everybody.
And don't you just believe her heart? And you know why you believe her heart? Because her mama put that love down.
I'm a product of Geraldine Brisbane, and she has been in the private sector her whole life. So I think now entering the public sector, I'm seeing where her light is needed, but she knows, she can tell you firsthand, she's not into politics at all. And I love her for it because that's who she is. But I am ready to jump into it and try to spread some light into this political field because I think we need it.
That's good. I 100% think I think the world needs you, regardless of whether it's in District 2 or if it's in near Robben Island in South Africa. The world needs Lia White. Okay. And actually, speaking of which, you are a servant leader. That's what you've been coined as, a servant leader. What does that mean to you? And how do you really go about doing that on a daily basis? Because you practice what you preach. There's a lot of adults that are much older than you that still don't practice what they preach, but you practice what you preach.
I think the biggest thing is the kids. It's so rewarding to see when I teach them, especially about Black history or teaching them just about life skills in general, like seeing how they really take it in and soak it up like a sponge. And it just makes me want to do more of that because then it makes me think, then I get really sad because I'm like, wow, I think about all the kids who aren't getting what I'm teaching them, who are getting anger, who are getting trauma, who are getting emotional damage. And I'm like, that's what they're soaking in. So when they become an adult, that's what they're pushing out. I think
good.
Yeah. So I think for me, being a servant of the community, anyone will tell you, I'll give you this shirt off my back. Like I want to help people because I feel like that's why God put me here. And like I said, leading from the back always. I never want to be like, oh, she's the leader. Like, because in group projects, I never chose to be the leader.
Wow. But now it's coming to the light to be able to really help shape and mold you into really ultimately what God has for you to become.
Yeah.
And that's going to benefit the whole world, not just City Council District 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's going to benefit
Well, I'm
everybody.
excited to spread the light with everybody because we need more positive, kind-hearted, and they're out there, but it's like they're just like so scared to come out. They're like, oh, it's Well, I'm like, if we all spread our light, then it's going to be a light world. But I think if the more darkness that's inflicted, the more light is going to hide. But if we got to shine. So
right. Shine bright like a city sitting on a hill so that other people want to know, what must I do to serve the God that you serve? Because whatever you're doing is something right,
Exactly. So I'm hoping just to inspire people so we can all be on the same journey. And when people always pass, they say rest in peace. And it's like, because they say that because people aren't peaceful when they pass. So it's like to go through your whole life and not have any peace. That's sad.
That's very sad. That's a waste of life, in my opinion. So please make this life on this earth a valuable experience, a memorable experience. Good. Okay. Well, I mean, I've asked a whole lot of questions. I guess the only other, I had two more things. One is, how are you balancing being a mentor, an educator, a nonprofit leader, and now a political candidate? Or I shouldn't say political because it's a non-affiliated
candidate,
a
community
politics candidate. Tell us how you balance all of those hats.
By having it merged together. I take the kids that I mentor, they go with me when I canvass. And I think it's good because it shows them like, this is something I'm passionate about doing. So I'm out here. And they're like, dang, Miss Lia, you getting ignored? Yeah. As some people are going to ignore me. Then some people will talk to me for 20 minutes and thank me and say I'm doing a great job. So I think showing them something that I want to do, and they're like seeing it, and then it encourages them to want to do it. And then them hearing about things in the community, they're more passionate about it too. They're like, wow, it is really a lot of crime in Charlotte. How can we fix it, Miss Lia? What can we do? That makes me feel so good.
That's good. I mean, every parent watching the Kim Jacobs show, if you can get your child connected some kind of way to Lia White, I believe you'll have a better outcome with your child. So please make sure that you stay connected with her at the Brisbane Legacy, or at Twitter or X, which is Lia White, the number 4 Peace. All right. And so when you look back many years from now, you're going to look back over your life and you're going to be like, what legacy did I actually leave here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and around the world? What are you going to be able to really say your legacy is? Like, we know your mom's legacy: heart, love,
right,
traveling, inspiring the world, even creating a platform for education for people to soar and become their best versions of themselves. And she's poured everything into you that she's poured into you, along with your parents, your additional parents, your dad and your stepdad and all these other people. What is your legacy going to be?
Oh, it's so hard to say because I feel like I'm still creating it. But I think the biggest thing is empowering people. I love to make people feel better about themselves. Any of my friends will tell you, like, I am the number 1 hype man. I'm like, yes, girl, yes, guy, get it. Like I'm the biggest cheerleader because I think it is so important. A lot of people, they never talk about like their insecurities, especially they always say, check on your strong friend, right? And you think about it, it's like they're always encouraging people. Are you being encouraged? Are you being fulfilled? So I think really just empowering people to know, like, I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. Like, some people just need to hear that. So I think, oh, hey, family.
Yeah, people are like, really, Mario Black, he did like the 100 young men in the Charlotte area. Yes. And so I don't know if you know each other. That's why I tagged him. Do you know each other?
I don't, but I'm gonna write your name down. So
you have to connect immediately today, because Mario, just so you know, I don't want to be acting like I'm having a whole separate conversation here and I'm on a live show, but this young lady is doing everything she can to raise signatures to be able to be People Over Politics party. So she's going a non-affiliated woman candidate in Charlotte, North Carolina, for City Council District 2. And I would love for the two of you to connect and help her get these signatures. You know quite a few people in the Charlotte area.
I'll be reaching out.
He's very impactful. So anything that Mario Black does, he does a great job of it. And he's able to rally the troops. And hopefully other people that I tagged as well will be able to tune in and see this as well. And some people will rally to help you get those signatures. Will you do me one favor and let me know when you have the signatures?
Yes, I'll call you and be like, girl, we got to celebrate. Where you at? Yes, it's definitely gonna be a party. So you'll get the invite.
Well, I am so again grateful that you took the time to be a part of the Kim
Yes,
Jacobs
thank you
Show
so much.
today and bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, if you all have not partnered with us, and I mean partnered by sending, I don't care what amount. Sometimes people do call-a-thons and phone-a-thons and you pray-a-thons and all kinds of things. What I'm doing is notifying you that we are excited to have partners that believe that we can bring balance to the world one household at a time by bringing guests like Lia and guests that we bring on Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're bringing them to your home as a gift. It's a gift to you and to your household. So make sure you take a moment and pour into the Kim Jacobs Show by being one of our financial supporters. You can do that through paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc., Venmo at the Kim Jacobs Show, Zelle or Apple Cash at 704-962-7161, or you can join our membership programs as well. All right, so that is today's episode. Tell them one more time how they can stay connected with you, Lia White.
So you can follow me on Instagram at the Brisbane Legacy or Twitter X at Lia White, the number 4, peace.
Okay, and by doing that, they're going to get what?
So you'll get information about where I'll be daily to collect petitions or collect signatures for my petition, and also information about events I'll be doing with kids.
Excellent. Any closing thoughts? Something that you wanted to say, you didn't get a chance to say? You're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to say this. Say it.
I think I'm just grateful that you took the opportunity to chat with me. So I really appreciate you and everything that you're doing. And I'll definitely be at the marathon. So hopefully I'll have some kids with me. I know Saturday is a little hard to get them up early, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh Lord, you're doing too much.
How can we find her on platforms? Okay, so Instagram is the Brisbane Legacy, and X or Twitter is Lia White 4 peace.
And I just put it in the comments section as well for you. So make sure you know that you can go back on whatever platform you're watching the Kim Jacobs Show and know how to stay connected with Lia White. At the Brisbane Legacy is on Instagram. I have a lot of iHeart Radio and SoundCloud, Spotify, all of those. So they're hearing it. They're not seeing the broadcast. And that's happening right now too. And then on Roku as well. And I see you all over there on Instagram as well. Thank you all. I see you, Lady J. And I see you. I am Hargrove. All of you all that are tuning in today from whatever platforms you're watching, we appreciate you today. And I absolutely yes, thank you. Thank you. I love you all. I appreciate your participation. And we'll see you again Monday through Friday right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Yeah, let's do a heart-to-heart.
Yeah, heart-to-heart.
Yeah, so anyway, we did a heart-to-heart hug, Jerry, as you always teach us. All right, everybody. Love you all. And we'll see you again Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference. And I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.